What is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Happy New Year's Eve. We'll be right back right after this with everything that has happened in the last 4 days. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. Download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough.
Lord, oh Lord, when it's time, I will fight, I will fly right up to you. Lord, oh Lord, when it's time, I will fight, I will fly right up to you.
All right, what is going on? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you've never been here before, today you can follow along at marfooglenews.com. In fact, you can sign up for our email alerts. You can also sign up for notifications directly from us. Also, you can go to our website and follow along on the articles. In fact, if we show you something here, whether it be a tweet, a video, a picture, a document, an archived article, it will all be on our website. That way you know exactly where your stories are coming from. That way you know the sources. This is a full bibliography of everything we are going to show you here today other than opinions. Now, when we do opinions, we try to clarify so that way you know exactly when it is going outside of fact and going into opinion. Now, once you hit this yellow bar at the bottom, that is web-only content. That is essentially stuff that is too hot for TV, or the stuff that is so controversial that, you know, people just can't talk about anymore, which that list is growing bigger and bigger. There's an entire other show down there. Make sure to use it. In fact, all of this is done for free for you to utilize, and there's a lot of work that goes into putting it all there. So make sure to use it. Again, it is there for your use. And then on the right side, if you do want to support us, we are completely independent. We don't have a multi-channel network. We don't have a multi-billion-dollar company behind us. It's Dex and I and a team of volunteer mods that try to keep this going. So on the right side, you can support us by using our Amazon link. If you're already shopping through them, which I assume a bunch of you are, you can use that box there. If you want to PayPal or use any of our affiliates, EMP Shield is something we believe will save lives in the event of a CME or EMP. Definitely go check them out. Again, they are still doing their year-end sale for another day. I believe it is the last day, so make sure to go over and check that out. And then My Patriot Supply, if you do want to get any kind of prep lined up. Again, we're only going into 2022, so we'll see if it's as great as 2021 was. Let's bring in my co-host / internet brother, Dex James. Again, a lot of you may know he was pretty sick over the last few days. He is better. What is going on, Dex, and how are you doing?
Well, happy New Year, Adam, and happy New Year, Foogle fam. You know, I am on the mend.
So you didn't have that, right?
I was sick. We'll leave it at that. I don't know what I had other than I know my symptoms. And I'm better. I'm still dealing with it, but I'm better. Yeah.
So again, you had more of like a stomach thing. So again, I'm glad you're better. It's always scary when you get sick now, but it is December, so it is the middle of flu season, just so people know that. This is actually at the peak, so you never know what it is now, right? I have a small update. of course, I did get to go in. I had to go to the ER to go and see somebody about my situation. If you don't know my situation, I would highly recommend going to the last video that I did on this channel. I don't want to go back into details, but it seems like prayers may have helped. I am doing better. I had internal bleeding, and that part was somewhat fixed, and I had some other stuff going on down in my stomach. So I am here, and that's all that matters, and I am very appreciative of all the well wishes, and I still need prayers for my ongoing situation. So I appreciate all of you guys, and in the future, if in the next month, if I have to cancel a show or two to make certain appointments, I might have to do that. So let's get right into it. I appreciate everybody that has showed up already. Wink Tartan Bell says, my birthday is tomorrow, so I'm sending Marf fam a little gift to celebrate. That's backwards. It says, wishing you all a happy and healthy new year. Happy New Year, everybody. It is now going to be 2022. I'm going to be positive. 2022 is definitely going to be a different year. It's going to be different than 2021. It is a different number. I mean, it is 21 to 22 is totally different. I mean, that's one different. So it should be different, right? Even though most of the news and everything else is kind of in a repeated cycle, and it almost is like a flashback to last year. We'll talk about that as well later on, but make sure to go check out our web-only content. There's some pretty crazy stuff. In fact, we're going to add a couple things too. I don't believe Dex knew about that. I just a lot of crazy stuff coming out of China as far as videos, and it's funny because those are the same videos that happened like 2 years ago. In fact, their zero policy. Rest in peace, Betty White. So we'll talk about that. We have that in here. A lot of people are sad about that. Betty White, of course, was a film legend, and she was 99 years old. A lot of magazines actually were already celebrating her 100th a little bit too soon. She passed right before that, so she was about to be, all over the newspapers and everything because she was about to hit that mark. She didn't quite make it. So yes, rest in peace, Betty White. And then Nettie2550 says, Happy New Year, Foogle family. Well, thank you. And then Rhea, again, thank you. And then, so first off, Alaska Ice Mageddon warning follows heat record. So it says that the coldest U.S. state of Alaska has recorded its hottest ever December day amid an unusual winter warm spell. Temperatures soared to record 19.4 Celsius or 67 Fahrenheit on the island of Kodiak on Sunday, almost 7 degrees warmer than the state's previous high. Now remember, 60 degrees or 60, the previous record of 60 degrees, it's like, well, that's cold, right? 67 is almost 70 degrees, and anywhere else that's like, okay, it's winter. Of course it is. In Kodiak, that is extremely, extremely warm. They're normal. It says in the southeastern town of Ketchikan, temperatures dropped to negative 18 degrees on December 25th, one of the town's coldest Christmas days in the past century. It says the weather extremes have prompted warnings of an ice mageddon from authorities as torrents of rain and snow have left ice as hard as cement coating the roads. Experts say warm air pouring in from Hawaii has made Alaska's air unusually cold and dry during December, more moist, and this has meant heavy rain and snowstorms are more likely in interior regions away from the balmy coastal areas. Heavy snowfall was followed by torrential rain that left the region coated with ice as the rain quickly froze, resulting in widespread power failures, road closures, and offices being shut. Thick ice formed on roads made them treacherous, and drivers warned that the Alaska Department of Transportation and public facilities. It says, quote, ice is extremely difficult to remove once it has binded to the road surface. Even though air temps were warm, roads were at sub-zero temperatures, which caused ice to bind to the surface. So if you've ever watched the show Ice Road Truckers or any of those trucking shows, they're most likely going to have one hell of a season. Obviously, that is pretty nuts. The one thing, though, one thing I want to mention is if you haven't seen Don't Look Up yet, which, Dex, you didn't get a chance to watch that yet, I'm assuming.
No, not yet.
I just we just talked about that last night. So Don't Look Up is now being used as a message, and they're trying to say that Don't Look Up is kind of like this side message for the world and the change that is happening, if you know what I mean. Again, that is something that is a sensitive thing for whatever reason. And they're trying to say that whole plot of people not believing scientists and everything else is kind of this side message of what is happening in the world. Leonardo DiCaprio came out and said in interviews with the whole staff and crew, he used that to kind of use as a platform for what he usually does. If you didn't know, Leonardo DiCaprio is a big world planet weather, somebody who talks about that issue a ton. In fact, he's part of all these boards, and he's part of fundraisers, and he's part of all this stuff, and he speaks everywhere. He's a big name in that whole realm. And he said something that is kind of alarming to people that don't know about this whole. Originally, it was like 12 years until the deadline. He said that it was 9 years left before we hit this kind of, rock wall. One thing that has been more and more apparent to me is all of the weird stuff that has happened in the last 4 or 5 years, including weather changes, just everything that has happened on Earth. And then it just so happens that it coincides with this. One thing that I saw was a kind of a cheaper movie or a series. I wonder if it was a series or movie, but the first episode or first part of the movie basically talks about how if Antarctic ice melts, that certain things could unsheath, like old plagues and things like this. If the ice melts and then releases these kind of old colds, like it could be a common cold, but since it's something that's, so long ago that it would take everybody out, right? That was the premise. Oh, V-Wars. It was a show, and it's a bad one. Essentially that the ice melts and it releases a V, and it turns people into vampires, into blood-sucking fiends. Horrible plot line, but that part about the ice melting and releasing things, I believe we actually covered about a year and a half ago. There's a theory that it could release something bad. Which, if you line up with all the stuff they say is happening, I'm surprised they haven't said that yet. I'm surprised they haven't said that the result of the melting is what is happening now, right? That would be definitely a good Babylon Bee story. But as far as everything goes with the asteroids and Don't Look Up, I highly recommend you go watch that and then line it up with the T-Man administration. Line it up with, when you watch that movie, think of Glenn Close as T-Man. Think of Jonah Hill, as his son-in-law. And then and then remember that Adam McKay normally is most famous for doing movies based on real events. It's just kind of weird because that is his specialty, is actually taking real events and turning it into a movie. And he even jokes about it on the beginning. It says, based on real events that haven't happened, and then it goes black, and then it says, yet. The idea of an asteroid hitting Earth is very freaky, but again, when you look at what they might do if something was discovered and heading this way, would also kind of line up with the same stuff they would do for some of this, as far as the change. And there would be a deadline that everybody would... I just wonder if there was ever a code word, like maybe a code word is being used. What also would change Earth, if you believe what they say, is things bigger out there that affect our gravity or affect our tides and affect our whole weather patterns. Could be pollution, it could be whatever else, but who knows? And then we have Alexa tells 10-year-old girl to touch live plug with penny. So I wouldn't leave your kids unattended with these, but again, I wouldn't get one of these in the first place. Alexa is very creepy. We know that they listen. We know that they have used Alexas against people in court of law. When there's no they don't announce to you when you buy an Alexa that, hey, if they need to, if there's anything that happens, they can use this as evidence against you. It listens all the time. It first recorded little snippets. Now some say that it's like basically recording all the time. It says Amazon has updated its Alexa voice assistant after it challenged a 10-year-old girl to touch a coin to the prongs of a half-inserted plug. The suggestion came after the girl asked Alexa for a challenge to do. Plug in a phone charger about halfway into the wall outlet. Then touch a penny to the exposed prongs, the smart speaker said. Amazon said it fixed the error as soon as the company became aware of it. You wonder if somebody at the company purposely did that as like a sick crime. Do you think that was AI?
No. It came from it was using a form of AI where it was getting information from like the web and looking up challenges. So like this became a challenge on TikTok and other places. So when it found it on the web, it just repeated it back.
That's just absolutely freaky.
Well, and it's kind of irresponsible just to randomly take information you're getting from the web and just
what if it told her to do
something to do?
What if it told her to do the Tide challenge, the Tide Pod thing?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, wow, people just, I won't go into it. I wouldn't, more and more people are depending on devices and things, and it is helpful to have a tablet or a device there if they can watch their favorite cartoons. If you actually watch it, and if you actually take any amount of time, it's very easy to do now, where you can set the parental levels on a lot of these tablets, or you get the kids tablets. They'll only be able to get these kids shows and things like that. But if you didn't know this, and if you are still letting them just free roam on YouTube, when you search things like even Blippi is a famous guy. There's jokes on TikTok like where people do cheers to the man that lets me have a breakfast in peace, and then it will show a picture of Blippi, right? Because people put their kid in front of Blippi or any of these YouTubers that their kids watch. But when you search Blippi on most computers, it will pop up with these creepy, just Huggy, the Huggy creature, this like stuffed animal with sharp, nightmarish teeth. My kids, they've already seen it. I didn't know about this last year, and they were like finding all these videos, and it was all on kids. This was in the kids app. This was in the kids side of it. And even the people that used to do kids video, like she used to watch Cookie Swirl C. Cookie Swirl C now plays Five Nights of Freddy, and now plays these dark games. Playing the game the game where they basically the whole point of the game is to get away from the murderer. Like this is what kids are watching now. On top of that, then when they swoop over to TikTok, they see other 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds doing, acts that adults should be doing, acts that adults shouldn't even be doing in public. And to music that is just so raunchy that now it is so normal for people to be raunchy. Like that's normal society. Now they want you to have your feelings out. And another thing is they're getting exposed to all of, now it's a thing on TikTok and all these platforms for people to talk about their stresses and their therapy and talk about this. Now, some would say that that's a good thing, and I'm not disagreeing with people talking about their feelings and all of this, but think about the children that go on there and then hear, certain people's stories, and some of them are really, really graphic, and there's no filtering it on that. It's like they talk about, RAPE and all of this other stuff. I am a bit confused by how this new generation, it goes from... I get that back in the day you used to keep all your family laundry all your dirty laundry hidden, and that's not exactly good. But putting it out there for views and clicks, some of these people will literally tell their story or some sick story, and then they'll make a 10-parter because it's getting them more views and clicks. And you know that they're actually more addicted to those views and clicks than the therapy that it brings them. and the trolling comments, that's not helping people. Not in my opinion, anyways. So as far as social media and these devices, just absolutely crazy stuff. What do you think about TikTok? What do you think about YouTube and what the kids are around? Let me know in the comments down below. Armed man arrested while driving to found Zuckerberg, officials say. Yes, that's right. He was trying to take out apparently President B, Dr. F, Dr. Evil, and Zuckerberg. I might have changed one of those, but a heavily armed California man was taken into custody after he confided in law enforcement officers that he was driving to the house to take out a number of, quote, evil, high-profile business and political figures. Court documents released Wednesday showed. It says Kuchua Brilliant Xiong, 25, was pulled over December 21st on an interstate highway in Cass County, Iowa, for speeding and aggressive driving. It says Cass County Sheriff Department's Sergeant Tyler Shields obtained Xiong's consent to conduct a search for the suspect's vehicle and reportedly produced an AR-15 style rifle. Of course, right? And it's style, right? It says boxes of ammunition, loaded magazines, along with armor and medical kits. So that name, I thought it was going to be like a Bob Smith or something, but no, it's a Kawachoa Brilliant Xiong. Sounds, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to try to guess, but okay, I'll guess. It sounds a little Chinese. So I don't know what the deal with this gentleman is. We'll actually follow this, but again, is this something that was put out on purpose? Did he actually get close? Why does stuff like this get coverage and others didn't? It says during the traffic stop, Xiong also described to Shields his frustration with the government, which was due to the abuse of children, some of which has occurred by President B. So, if you don't know, there was a thing done by Project V era TOS, and they had the diary of the daughter of Mr. B. So also they might end up bringing this back on the 17th letter group. They might bring this and make it look like there's all that sorts of crazy stuff. It already looks like they're trying to make or they are portraying his comments. I don't know if this is out of context, but he definitely sounds crazy, right? As far as these comments go, it says after being detained and transported to the Cass County Sheriff's Office for an interview, Xiong told the investigators that he believed he was the only person alive who can free the United States of evil, which required him to take those positions in powder. Okay, so this guy's...
I've got his mugshot if you want it. It's in
oh yes,
in screener.
So this guy's like just straight up nuts. But do you think that they're going to use this to try to... do you think they're going to use this to try to take away a certain item from almost everyone? Probably. From the majority of people who just obey the law. And there's a whole big reason why we have these things. And if we look at China, we know exactly why. We have, an amendment there. Let's see here.
Is it not possible that other countries could have created this, like China or others?
I don't know. It's kind of obvious if they did. You mean propaganda with their million-man operation?
Not with well, this would be a different type of propaganda, not just words, action, and not necessarily to pull it off, but to stage what we're seeing so far.
This guy looks cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But is it on
yeah,
purpose?
I mean, the statements were outlandish. Like, I mean, just to think that a lone person is going to do all of that by themselves is, they won't even get anywhere.
Well, no, this is the only man who can set evil free. He said it. I mean, and then it's on the internet, so it's gotta be true, right? It was on the internet, so it has to be. What was the rule that we live by? It's on the internet, so it has to be True. That's right. And he's wearing camo, so you know what 60% of the United States is going to think right away? It's camo. He's a T-man, blah, blah, blah.
And apparently he compiled his list from TikTok videos, so he was programmed from TikTok.
Huh. Well, that's a U.S. app, right? Oh, wait. That's a Chinese app, and we just covered that. They said that they were separating from China, but really they're answering directly to China. In fact, they have proof of that. So, I don't know. It's funny that they would let all that out, right? You'd think you'd be trained not to say that. Cindy Burrell says, I have lived on the coast for 30 years and water hasn't risen ever, even an inch. Huh. Again, I would... Which coast, though? I wonder if, again, I don't doubt you're right. If you live on there, you'd probably know, right? Pollyanna, thank you. Paul, thank you so much for your support. Pollyanna, again. Western Body, I'm prepared for 2022. Yes, so a lot of people have made the connection that 2022 is pronounced 2020, number 2. Yeah, hopefully it's not a repeat. Woman of Wonder says, Happy New Year, y'all. Shout out to the Houston Foogle fam. Glad you and Dex are feeling better. Much love. And then Sonny Turner, that's also the pilot season of The Last Ship. Sonny Turner talking about how the ice melts and exposes. I think it's based on somewhat of a truth, because I think we've covered stuff like that. If an ancient virus was actually unsheathed, with the melting of the ice caps, something that was from millions of years ago, would it survive if it was perfectly frozen? But then you would have to have somebody there to catch it and whatever else. Cindy Burrell, again, thank you. Rhonda McKee, Happy New Year. Again, thank you. Glad to catch you live. And then Joseph New asks, Happy New Year. Keep seeing this space advertisement for BMO Harris. Kind of interesting, so I made a video of it, NASA and OMI, for your show. Hey, that's awesome. Karank1 and Kim Edwards. Kim Edwards, thank you for the massive support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Oh Wise Owl. Thank you, Kim Edwards. That is appreciated. Thank you guys for supporting. Yeah, it says the 25-year-old said he had departed his home near Sacramento, California on December 18th was headed straight to the White House, only to find out that that's not where the president actually is. He's on a stage somewhere, in a boat or somewhere. If you want to protect yourself against an EMP and support the show, I would highly recommend you go check out EMP Shield. Again, EMP is one of the highest priorities of the United States right now, as far as we know this, because this is one of the few disasters they're actually preparing for. Marfooglenews.com/EMP. You can go there and check out these devices. This company is not only working with agencies like DOD, DHS, and now, of course, the DEMSO team on the Texas grid, but they are also selling to civilians as well still. So again, go over and check it out. It can protect you against all 3 phases of an EMP. It can also protect you against a CME. This also protects your home against lightning. This is essentially something that can basically protect anything that runs. They make a device for everything that you can think of, from your car, your RV, your motorcycle, your ham radio even, your solar system, and your house, of course. Again, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP to see all of the different devices they make. Again, if you get multiple, you get a stacking discount for the next day. This is the last day of their New Year's sale, I believe. And again, that means you get our $50 off plus a stacking sale on top of that, depending on how many you get. It ranges from anywhere from $20 to $50 off additional of every device. Every time that you go over and purchase a device from them, not only are they giving you a giant discount, but they're also helping us out with a commission. That way we can keep running our stuff. Again, we don't make we make way less than anybody our size because of the stuff we cover. So we do appreciate everybody that supports us through these, and of course through all of your guys' donations, and we appreciate it. Again, you are supporting both of our families, so thank you, and it is much appreciated. especially around times like now. So, all right, and then Dex, coal silo explosion spreads shockwaves through city and building shakings. What did you think when you first saw this?
Well, I could only imagine how terrifying it may be if you were living in the Baltimore area when this happened. But yeah, that's a massive shockwave, I guess, that went all the way across the city. And people that were close to it, felt the brunt of it. And then, of course, they then also called in hazmat because, of the potential dangers that are going on with us. But yeah, this is we don't know the exact reasons why. I'm sure we'll find out over time, but it might be accidental or it might have been planned.
Again, it says Baltimore firefighters responded and quickly confirmed that that there was an explosion after a 5-story coal silo suffered an apparent collapse. They added that a shockwave could be felt across the city and asked residents to stay away from the area. Hazmat, special rescue units, and fireboats were also on the scene. Crews were searching for victims just after 12 p.m. local time and said to be preventing any further destruction. One thing I think, though, too, is especially when they say, like, stay away from the area and nobody go near it, I always think back to the movies where movies and shows where they show kind of FBI swoop in and they just cordon off the area and it's something else, like a UFO landed or a meteor or, some sort of T attack that they're covering up. And, I always think of that stuff. What's funny, and then people go, "Oh, that's in the movies." We know from history and declassified documents that it's happened before, and it happens all the time. The government covers up a ton of stuff. So I guess I always look at stuff like this and I go, okay, they said stay away from the area, obvious reasons, right? That's because it's dangerous. So I just always, it's in the back of my head if wonder if any of these things are something different, right? Especially when we've had all these weird gas explosions in different cities. And also, we haven't had a single T attack yet. There's information flowing through everywhere that there are a bunch of T cells just everywhere, and they don't want to, of course, to give them credit when something does happen.
We just reported 3 days ago that they picked one up at the border, right?
Yep. Yeah. And the ones that aren't, the ones that are getting picked up, right? The ones that are getting through, what happens to them? Do you think that, would there be any motive for them not telling the United States that we had, some sort of T attack? Unless it was to our advantage, right? Would there be a motivation to not tell people if there was some sort of T event? Do you think that would ever happen, Dex?
Well, I think if you're trying to have a certain narrative that, you don't want people to focus on that, or you don't want that to be part of what's happening at the moment, then yeah, you could do that. But also, I get that would probably be more along the lines of a organic T attack versus a inorganic, if you know what I mean.
But that would be saying that, the government and world governments control all flows of information. I mean, that just sounds crazy, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, we only saw something strange happen in that town in Tennessee, Nashville, right?
Oh, I mean, that one totally made sense. You mean the RV that gave a 30-minute warning before it went off, and it was right in front of an information center with extremely important data, and they didn't want to hurt anybody. They just wanted to blow up an RV.
I swept that one under the rug quickly.
Huh. Yeah. Forget Tinder. This Chinese city is building a dating database for its singles when they're not welded in their houses, and if they can get out of the barbed wire in their hallways. If they think that youngsters are going to forego partying in favor of virtual matchmaking party, they are so wrong. It says when it comes to the dwindling loves of its single citizens, one local government in China is taking matters into its own hands by building an extensive state-run database of its local bachelors and bachelorettes to help them find their perfect match. The Communist Party officials from the northern city of Langzhou announced on Monday that they had begun work on gathering the personal information of unmarried men and women and entered the data into a central database. It says that as the continues to limit social interaction for many, local officials and matchmaking parties for civil servants and workers at state-owned enterprises were being held with blind date sessions also in the works. 2 group dating parties have been organized already this year, with a virtual dating party scheduled to be held on New Year's Eve on app Douyin. It says the original Chinese version of TikTok. It says, we hope to bring single men and women together through activities, a representative from the local municipal government said in a statement published on the Sina Weibo microblogging website this week.
Now, you know what's next, right?
Go ahead.
You know what's next. They're going to take this data, and then they're going to use AI, and then they're going to take it and then arrange marriages based on AI and say that we have found the best match for you, and because we're the government and we're here to help, this is what you're going to do. And they're going to start putting people together.
I thought they were going to schedule them, like great first date events like watching the firing squad or let's all volunteer to weld people's doors shut.
And I'm sure they're going to take, the genome data that they collect. And if they want certain things and certain people to mate, then they will, with that AI and with that information, they'll bring them together and say, you two are a match. And or just say, you two have to be married. Seems this is the way that our government keeps going. It's, complete nanny state. It's
pretty freaky. A lot of people agree with you. They think that it is for AI, and with China being so invested in AI, and again, that is something that we hear from every country's media. India's media talks about China's AI and how scary it is. We have UK media. We have pretty much all the allied medias. But we also see even Russia, their scientists are trying to figure out how China got so far ahead in AI. Our own Pentagon chief software official that just left, it was a position that was made for him because his specialty, he left, and he said that he left because China was so far ahead. He said that they were just killing us in AI. And once you're ahead in AI, he said it's like almost impossible to get back on the same level because there's steps that take time and there's no way to skip them. So I thought that was pretty freaky. They're using AI for everything. We've covered multiple stories in just the last couple weeks as far as, well, of course, we covered the one where it could sense somebody that was about to steal something from a store based on their actions and their body languages, and it was like 97% accurate. And then it was like 97% accurate. What was the other one? It was 98 or 97% accurate, Dex, and it was able to detect crimes. It was a judge and jury, and it would be able to detect dissent, right, online.
Yeah, no, well, it wasn't just that. It was any crime. It was any of the misdemeanor crimes. So they were basically going to take and use this AI algorithm to, get rid of the court and just say, okay, it will just do a disposition on the or adjudicate the crime that's happening and whether or not the person's guilty based on the written statements that come in from their sides, and then judge it and be done. And it was 97% accurate over 17,000 cases it went through over the last, 5 or 6 years they used of data.
So scary. And then this, okay, so the reason why this is titled, again, this is could be far worse, again, is talking about as far as what did we deal with WW2 and what was our options if we would have lost to Germany, if we would have lost to Hitler, what would we have dealt with? Think about what this country has done, and if you believe some of the stuff that is coming out now, which again, it looks like the same propaganda that happened 2 years ago, and it's happening again. This is like a cycle. So I am not very positive about the next few months of what is happening everywhere. But I will say this. We know for a fact, outside of propaganda and outside of the controlled narrative, we know that China is savage with its people. We know that because over a billion people are controlled. Everything they do is tracked. Everywhere they go. And yes, America and every other country are jumping suit. But there are still places in the U.S. where you can go out in the country and get away from the cameras and get away from stuff. Here in China, they are even putting them out everywhere. I mean, you are tracked no matter where you go in China. And any main thorough, I mean, it's everything. Not only that, you cannot there's still workarounds in the U.S. You can go off grid. It takes a lot of work now, but you can go off grid and you can stay hidden, or you can falsify stuff. Here, it makes it so much harder because in China, they even have people snitch on each other and rewards. I mean, like, this is crazy stuff. If we were to lose a next conflict to China, this is the kind of stuff we're dealing with. Chinese brain control warfare work revealed. We've talked about this over the last couple of weeks. It says the Commerce Department imposed sanctions on Chinese technology companies and announced last week revealed that China's military is engaged in dangerous work related to brain control warfare research. We talked about this before it was big, and that was due to actually Serpent ZA. Give credit to him and whoever else was in his audience that found out all of these documents that were coming out. Because mainstream did not cover this. We only covered it before mainstream because of Serpent ZA, the YouTube channel. So he really did a great job of getting this out before mainstream. It says basically that they are working on not only race-specific, but brain control stuff that can be done to anybody and could actually control you. So imagine, on top of having, all of their tracking and tracing and all of their, draconian rules, also imagine if the people were just agreeing with it. I also freak out when I think about that World Economic Forum saying, in the future, you will own nothing and be happy. Think about that. It says the announcement of the sanctions provided limited specific details of the work by China's Academy of Military Medical Sciences and 11 related Chinese research institutes. Commerce Bureau of Industry and Security said only that the academy and its affiliates were using biotechnology processes to support Chinese military end uses and end users, to include purported brain control weaponry. However, 3 reports by the PLAs obtained by Inside the Ring shed light on the depths of China's brain warfare research and show that it has been underway for several years. The translated 2019 reports discuss developing brain control weaponry as part of what Chinese officials call the intelligent, I can't read the word really, intelligentization of warfare. According to one of the reports, advances in science and technology are leading to upgrades in methods and ability to subdue enemies. It says conflict has already started to shift from pursuit of destroying bodies to paralyzing and controlling the opponent. I don't think people realize how scary this is. We're not talking about taking them out and you're not talking about a fight where the people on the other side are dead. They're paralyzed, they can't move, and they march right by them. Or they turn around and they start fighting with them. This isn't science fiction. This is real. But not only that, and who knows, the extent of it might just be, imagine if you got hit with a dart and then all of a sudden you just can't move. And it's not a paralyzation. It's actually telling your brain to not move. And when they want to, they have the key. Here's the thing. They are the only ones that have the key. So they hypothetically, the thing that they've talked about is this little bullet. and it's microscopic. It's a bullet that goes inside, and then it can turn, the nanosystems can turn off your ability to walk. It can turn off your ability to talk. It can turn off your ability to smell. That goes inside. It turns, say, the front line of soldiers, all of a sudden they can't walk, they can't talk, they just fall over. They walk right by. We can't undo that because they have genetically made this key, and only they can undo it. And they can. They could undo it later. They could say, you sign your life over to us and you fight for us, or you won't walk again. What would people do? People think this is science fiction. This is real, and it's right now. And it's been worked on for years. Imagine if they took Taiwan and didn't have a single person fight back because they get in there with a spy or something and this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. What if they take the coastlines and they have drones with AI that have facial recognition, pick out any person, they dart them, and then all of a sudden everybody's paralyzed? I mean, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. It says, to win without fighting is no longer far-fetched, it stated, quoting ancient strategist Sun Tzu's maxim. Brain science is being used to extend warfare in the sphere of human consciousness, causing the brain to become the main target of offense and defense of new concept weapons. The focus is to attack the enemy's will to resist, not physical destruction. So think about that in the form of propaganda and the other stuff that they have done. A lot of the conflict has already been won. We are completely divided, and people are so dumb they think, the people that are arguing with each other, you think that arguing with another human being that makes under $10 billion a month, if you think that does any good, then you are completely wrong. You want to disagree because you believe this and they believe that. Meanwhile, everything you have and everything you think is awesome now is not going to be here in just a few years. People don't even realize they're just completely divided by left and right. Oh, all those liberals and all those right-wing. People, we need to stop being stupid and we need to stop fighting with each other. Somebody said, don't talk to the trolls. Just let them be, if again, some of our best people here have actually come out of being the stereotypical trolls. If you don't like that I talk about space because you don't believe in space, you don't like that I talk about China because you're Chinese or whatever it is, it's volunteer to watch. You don't have to watch. And I guess if you stick around long enough, the people around you will actually treat you really nice. Kim Edwards, thank you for your support again. Thank you for massive support tonight. Travis Schaefer, I appreciate your support. Dominic Garvin, Eddie Dean. Over on D-Live, Lisa K23 has just popped in a bunch. Thank you. It says, Dex, so sorry that you were sick. Glad you're better. And then Release the Quacken. Thank you as well. Says, hope you're feeling better. Pisces says, happy different number year. That's right. Life is better and still stay calm and laugh as often as possible with 2 Fs. Jay Rockin, happy New Year's, everyone. Hope everyone stays safe and healthy this coming year. Lisa K23, Marf, Miss Marf, Dex, and Miss Dex, and Mods. Happy New Year. I love Jesus forever. And Release the Quacken. Thank you, Peaceful Waters and Kishara. Don't Look Up is exactly spot on. What it is spot on is about how people react to things and how divided we are and how the government can easily just confuse us. They just say, nope, it doesn't exist. So if people don't realize that we are soon to be in a really bad situation, it says the intended result will be enhanced individual capabilities. Quote, future human-machine merging will revolve around the contest for the brain. The two combatant sides will use various kinds of brain control technologies and effective designs to focus on taking over the enemy's way of thinking and his awareness, and even directly intervene the thinking of the enemy leaders and staff. And with that, produce war to control awareness and thinking. Do you realize where we're at right now? People love all of the technological advances. Now we're getting into this thing where we're in the movies and it's all real, and it's our nightmare. Our nightmare is coming true, and people don't realize it. Dex, pretty scary.
Yeah, very scary.
And before we talk about China, warns U.S. will face unbearable price on Taiwan if we interject. If you do want to line yourself up, go to marfooglenews.com/prep. If you have not already, make sure to go over there and check out all of their deals right now. You can get, of course, long and short-term survival food, water filtration, air purification, all of it. Again, you will most likely get a discount, and you will also help the Marfoogle News family. So thank you so much, everybody that goes over there. If you use this link, marfooglenews.com/prep, it will end up crediting us as well. It helps our channel, and you can end up getting a bunch of cool stuff. So again, go over there and check it out. They have everything from battery gadgets, all sorts of stuff. And then China warns U.S. will face unbearable price on Taiwan. It says China's foreign minister said Thursday that the United States will face an unbearable price over its actions towards the self-ruled island of Taiwan in Beijing's latest threat over the Flashpoint Island. Tensions between China and the U.S. have soared in recent years over the issues, including human rights, trade, and technological competition, with Taiwan emerging as a major flashpoint. It says China claims the democratic island of Taiwan is its own territory and has vowed to seize it one day by force if necessary. Although most countries have chosen to formally recognize Beijing over Taipei, it says, but many have retained strong unofficial links with the latter, which China bristles at. In an interview with the state broadcaster CCTV and official news agency Xinhua broadcast Thursday, Foreign Minister Yang Wi warned that Washington's interference could end up leading to a dangerous situation. The U.S. violated the promises made when China and the U.S. established diplomatic relations, condoned and encouraged Taiwan independence forces, and tried to distort and hollow out the one China principle, Wang Yi said. It says this will not only bring Taiwan into an extremely dangerous situation, but also cause the U.S. to face an unbearable price. In a snub to China, the U.S. invited Taiwan to its democracy summit earlier this month. U.S. President J.B. last month described Taiwan as independent, but he later clarified his remarks, confirming that there was no change in U.S. policy towards Taiwan. We have such a cluster F of just stupidity. Like, he says they're independent, but no, we haven't changed it. He says we'll support you, but we support one China. It's just like, can people write clearer or, make the font bigger on the prompter? I just don't get it. Mysteries Mystery School 2022. Stay true to all yous. Happy New Year's, y'alls. Mystery School. Thank you, Andreas Binder. Happy New Year from Europe. Much love from Austria. Wow. How are you guys doing over there? Andreas Binder, if you can, tell us, is it as bad as they say it is? Travis Schaefer, or at least for some people. Dominic Garvin, Eddie Dean. What is going on? For those that need to hear, most sodas, especially diet, are poison. Sodium benzoate. Poison, all artificial sweeteners. Poison. Yeah, that's true. Put these in your body and expect to remain healthy. For my daughter. Eddie Dean, no, I agree. Like Diet Coke and things like that. I've drank for years, and no good things come from it. Thank you, Adam and Dex. Much love. Foogle fam. Hey, Ari55. How are you doing? I hope you are doing good. I'm still praying for you, and I'm hoping that you're recovering from your loss earlier this year, and just praying for you as many times as I can. Petrocap Forever. Again, thank you. Massive support. Thank you. Lonnie Grimm. Ilea says, I personally think the Diary of B's Daughter is fake. The author made many typos, including the word young. Seems like it was written by a foreigner, not a college-educated woman. Happy New Year, by the way. Dex, what do you think about that? About the Diary of the Daughter? Do you think it would be fake?
Well, I mean, we'll never know, right? It's all speculation at this point, but it's certainly an input to take, right? But there are plenty of people in college that don't know how to spell or type or write, I should say.
Yeah. Well, I know people that have master's degrees and they can't spell without spell check, especially now. But as far as, why would the FBI seize them then? If it was fake, you would think they would just ignore it and say, that's nothing.
Exactly.
They seized everything and asked, and then now sources are saying that they were seeing if they had copied a couple of the pages that were ripped out. Pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, I guess we will never know. And then let's see here. Then we have Iran to the Store State TV says Tehran launched rocket into space. Goes back to why, really weird stuff as far as, I think it says launched a rocket with a satellite carrier bearing 3 devices into space. Authorities announced on Thursday without saying whether any of the objects had entered Earth's orbit. It was not clear when the launch happened or the devices carrier brought with it. Air footage of the blast-off against the backdrop of negotiations in Vienna to restore Tehran's tattered nuclear deal with world powers. An 8-round had been underway this week and is to resume after the New Year's holidays. Okay, so Dex, when exactly was this launch? It said Thursday, right?
Yeah, I think it was just this past Thursday. Yeah, not.
So it's yesterday.
It may have been yesterday. May have been yesterday or the week before. I don't remember. Yeah, yesterday. So, but here's the thing that matters. What really matters is every country that can go to space has the ability to potentially launch an electromagnetic pulse, right? From a satellite, from a FOBS fractional orbital bombardment system. It's a path in which they take an orbit up into space so that it's not detected. So, we haven't really given much thought to Iran to the Store because, all their stuff is sort of short range. They may have some content, they don't have the ability to go all the way across the world with their missiles and stuff like that. But once you get into space, you actually have the ability to go a lot further. And even more so, once you get into space, you have the ability to put something there and let it sit to use later. We know that they're really close allies, obviously, with Russia and China. And we know that NK, which is also a really close ally and probably almost like a sister in the sense that, they play their role and do the bidding, so to speak, for, China. Iran to the Store probably does the same thing, right? So with Russia and China. And we know that NK has that technology and was given it and potentially has it up in orbit already as we speak. So having more of our adversaries reaching space, especially ones that don't have a lot of stability, is kind of, it's a very potential threat that we need to take seriously. This isn't just, they're going to space, they're trying to get a man in space or a monkey in space or whatever, they're trying to do. It's getting to a different level with their technology.
So, one thing that's not exactly clear. So it says it's not clear when the launch happened. So the worry for this is that the I country, of course, has been practicing taking out is and all this other stuff. But they are also not a fan of the U.S. They're not a fan of anybody. Really anybody that goes against what they're doing. So, like Dex said, NK could have given them something. We had the I country, this country, sending boats and wait, wasn't it this same country that one of their boats mysteriously got dropped on its way to Venezuela, or not Venezuela? Was it Venezuela? Or was it?
Well, they had one going there, and then they turned it around. But they had their biggest, one
Carrier.
of their biggest military ships, and it was a converted oil tanker or converted some other converted ship. But it was their biggest military ship, and it mysteriously caught fire and sank.
And that was the whole time when people were questioning if they were bringing a device that the U.S. was watching them. They were monitoring them, and then all of a sudden it sank, and it was supposedly going to head over to Venezuela. Then they caught it. They said, we see you. We're watching you. Then it sank. Now they've launched something into space. I wonder if they are trying to figure out any way they can hit the U.S. I don't know. It's weird. They launched 3 devices, and right before New Year's Day, that would be a horrible. I mean, if you wanted significance as far as the date, right? 22222. That's not good. Hopefully they just launched some stuffed animals, or they're just starting to launch monkeys, right? The B administration planning emergency exit from Ukraine over Russian invasion. It says the United States Embassy in Kiev is working on an emergency preparation. In the event it must evacuate non-emergency personnel or diplomats' families due to a Russian invasion of Ukraine. Internal emails obtained by ABC News revealed this week. As Russian President Vladimir Putin considers diverse military options related to Ukraine, the embassy is preparing for permanent staff to continue emergency preparations in case of an authorized or ordered departure, which allows diplomats' families and non-emergency personnel to move because of a threat. The State Department spokesman said that the B administration is conducting normal contingency planning, as we always do in the event of a security situation severely deteriorates. It says, however, they are not currently considering evacuations of U.S. government personnel or American citizens from Ukraine. So they're making emergency preparations, but that's just because they do emergency preparations all the time.
Well,
when things deteriorate.
Okay.
They didn't last time?
Yeah, like, Afghan.
Oh, yeah. I know. Well, maybe they don't
Not
want
much planning went there.
Yeah, maybe they don't want another one of those, right? Yeah, where was their emergency planning? Where was their normal contingency planning on Afghanistan? Huh. That situation, they knew that was deteriorating. In fact, they had official documents months and months ahead. Yeah, that's a good point, Dex. In December, the State Department took additional steps to ensure American safety abroad, updating its travel advisory for Ukraine to have a warning over increased threats from Russia. The warning says U.S. citizens should be aware of reports that Russia is planning for significant military action against Ukraine. President B will speak with President Putin on Thursday. This was yesterday, amid rising tensions from Ukraine. This is I was actually in the hospital, so I didn't see this. Dex, did you get to watch this, or I guess we can cover it on the next show?
Well, there's not much that's really released from it other than they talked. And, I think the message is nothing has come from it in the sense that there's any massive change other than Putin wants, us to not put, NATO or nukes there.
And in response, Russia test fired new hypersonic Tsurkin missiles from frigate submarine. It says Russia test fired around 10 new Zircon hypersonic cruise missiles from a frigate and 2 more from a submarine, Interfax news agency said on Friday, citing Northern Fleet. Russian President Vladimir Putin has launched the weapon as part of a new generation of unrivaled arms systems Putin has called a missile test, conducted last week, a big event in the country's life, adding that this was a, quote, substantial step in increasing Russia's defense capabilities. Some Western experts have questioned how advanced Russia's new generations of weapons is, while recognizing that the combination of speed, maneuverability, and altitude of hypersonic missiles makes them difficult to track and intercept. Putin announced an array of new hypersonic weapons in 2018 in one of its most bellicose speeches in years, saying that they could hit almost any point in the world and evade a U.S.-built missile shield.
So the testing of these and firing 10 of these off just recently, and it sounds like this happened probably right after they had the call, right? Is sort of a signal, I think, right? If you just get done with a call with JB, and now the next thing you do is you go fire off 10 of these things.
Yeah.
What is that? What signal is that sending?
Basically, we're not effing around. And possibly that it didn't go well. Said, we don't care what you say. Bones, you didn't have to do that, man. It's especially right now. It's such crappy timing. You do enough in the chat. Thank you, Bones. If you guys haven't checked out Bones' channel, make sure to go do so. He's a good guy, and again, you didn't have to do that. Bones super chat at $50 says, "Hey, Marf and Dex family, Dex and family, my fellow mods and family, all you Fooglers, much love and Happy New Year's from the Bones family. I'm working, so I'm just listening. Work, work, work." Again, thank you. I miss some of the mods that have, everybody's got life stuff going on, but I miss Bones. You've stuck around through thick and thin, so thank you. Dave Empire, thank you. Love the show. Please give my channel a mention. Happy New Year. The Dave Empire. I will have to check it out. Again, if it's good, I will definitely shout you out. Allie Merch, Happy New Year, Adam, Dex, and Foogle fam. Glad both of you are doing better. Much love to everyone watching, and hope to see you more in 2022. It's been a minute. Ollie Merch, it has been a minute, actually. I haven't seen you. Tico and Taco, you've actually been out of there for a minute. Thank you for your support. Machina Opus, thank you. Happy New Year, everyone, from Australia. And then Human Male. I like this comment. It says, too old to join U.S. Armed Forces. Medical reasons kept you out. Half the states have a state defense force. Online search and join now. I don't think my state has that. We have militias, but I don't know if we have that. Can you imagine just like with a bunch of regular people going to conflict, like in a Red Dawn scenario? Just nuts. And then Travis Schaefer, thank you, Dominic Gavin, and then Eddie Dean, RE55, Pollyanna, Cindy Burrell, Paul, thank you, Western Body and Woman Wonder. Crazy stuff. Andrew's lawyers in emergency talks amid fears Maxwell could name names. Now, this whole trial has just been a lot of the stuff has been hidden. But as you may or may not know, she was found guilty of at least 5 charges. It says Prince, and then of course Prince Andrew's lawyers were locked in emergency talks. This is according to this source. It says The Sun. It says locked in emergency talks last night amid fears his pal Ghislaine Maxwell could name names following her guilty verdict, the report says. Maxwell now faces up to 65 years in prison after a New York court found she procured, groomed, and trafficked for her ex, Jeffrey EpiPen. It says the decision comes after EpiPen survivor Virginia Roberts Guillouf has launched a civil case against the Duke of York, who she alleges had with her when she was a teenage slave. It says Andrew strongly denies the claims and allegations of misconduct made against him. He's got pictures with her, and it's pretty hard to do that. Either way, so they say... Oh, no. Wait, hold on. It says legal experts reportedly point to O.J. Simpson, who was acquitted in criminal court but was found guilty of double murder in a civil case. The jury's verdict to convict Maxwell has sparked alarm in the Prince's legal team because of the burden of proof in the criminal case is far higher than in a civil case. And that's where they pointed to O.J. Simpson's, right? If the glove don't fit, you must acquit, right? So, do you guys think she's going to start naming names? Do you think that she is going to have a heart attack? In fact, let's do a poll. Okay, let's do something here. I'm going to turn on the chat box. How many of you think that Ghislaine's going to have some sort of miracle stroke or heart attack? Press 1. How many of you think that she's not going to name names? Press 2. Push 3 if you think she's going to name names. Or 4, do you think none of the above? I think before she gets to, I think number 1, I think just like we did this right before what's his face had a stroke. We did this right before he had a stroke. WikiLeaks, Julian Assange. I like that one. Says I don't care. Well, thank you for participating. Thank you for being a positive force in the chat. I appreciate that. Robin Spiker, all speech. Paul, oh my gosh, Paul. Man, I haven't seen you in forever. What is going on? Saul to Paul, Susan Adams, Ryan, Pez Player, Bill Bradley, 5 Reed, T Prada. We've got so many awesome Foogle family members here. Alan, what is going on? How are you doing? Me, Tinker. Stormy7572, what is going on? Rebel Snarful. We've got it's so cool to see so many names that have been here for such a long time. One on B, thank you. Hags 5996. Sorry, my eyes are going bad. The numbers I always get wrong. Kishara, Life is Better on Stilts. Jelena, Scooby-Doo Right, Jacktronics, Jammer 1, Generator. I love that. And then that Chowky Gal. Dex, what do you think? Do you think that she's going to name names, or do you think she's going to have a mystery stroke or disappear or somehow escape because they transferred her through a Colombian prison?
Yeah, well, there's always the appeal too, right? And there was some discussion about what the judge did to the jury by trying to force them to, or encourage, I should say, probably not force, but encourage them to wrap it up before a certain time due to CV. And if that could be used, then she may be able to, under appeal, get I don't know if it'd be thrown out or just if it would be, a mistrial and then retried.
Yeah, like she didn't get a fair trial because they hurried it. Yeah, that wouldn't be too good. Make sure to go check these out. Again, if you want to be in the running to win one of these bags, these are Faraday bags, essentially. The backpack has multiple mini Faraday bags in it for everything from your laptop to, of course, your cell phone down to your key fob. Or you can pick the duffel bag. You can enter to win these. Again, all you have to do is just be subscribed to Marfoogle News. Again, make sure to go check out our other channel. Also, make sure to be subscribed here if you are not subscribed already. But again, no purchase necessary to play. We are going to do that again. We have to make an announcement on the other channel. I was in the hospital, and then basically just stuff happened. I did mention it, but we need to basically announce this, and then I want to. We're going to be giving away a duffel bag and a backpack. So make sure to get over there. The first person will have their choice, and the second person will have basically whatever is left. Again, it's really cool. This is essentially the same. Off-Grid is used to be EDEC. They have done stuff for FBI, CIA, all the different kind of agencies. Mostly FBI. They use these as evidence bags, and also their agents use it so they can't be tracked, traced, or hacked. That somebody can't hack their devices. So this is the same kind of stuff. This can also protect against the Faraday bag, can protect against EMP or CME, can protect your devices. So make sure to go check this out. If you just want to get one and you don't want to depend on winning one, go to marfuglenews.com/offgrid. Make sure to go over and check this out. Really, really high quality stuff. And it is proven to work. So again, go over and check it out. Again, this is Off Grid, formerly EDEC. Now they are doing a lot more consumer stuff. They used to only be doing stuff for FBI and agencies like that. Make sure to use that code Marfoogle and you'll get an extra savings. There's also bags that you can get, smaller bags like key fob bags and cell phone, laptop, all sorts of cool bags. There's even the utility bag. That one has a window so you can still use your phone. All right, and then I want to thank everybody that popped in tonight. Thank you, everybody, for your support, well wishes, and a lot of people in the DMs on Twitter. If you haven't followed me over there, go to @Marfoogle. Thank you, everybody, for the prayers. I could not believe how many people sent prayers and positive thoughts. People I haven't talked to in 2 years called and left messages. I just want to thank everybody for just everybody just praying for me. I really do believe prayer works. I even told Dex that. I think that after I said he was sick, people prayed for him, and Dex, within one day, you were feeling better.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I really appreciate everyone that was praying for me because, I did have, both a stomach and a chest kind of thing going on, but, like I said, I'm on the mend after just a couple of days, so I feel a lot better. I was pretty bad the first day or two.
Well, and you didn't have the Ivers, you didn't have the right stuff, and you had some stuff.
Yeah, I take vitamins, if you know what I mean. The daily regimen of good stuff that you should have every day, and I've been doing that for many months just to be on top of things. But that was it.
I was kind of freaked out there for a second because there's been a lot of people that around me have said they had this, said they had that. But again, it is also December. It's also the peak of everything else. It's the peak of flu season. It's just it's crazy.
If you look on the web only, there's a new kind of flu thing going on. There's a new name for it.
So can you tell us about some of the stuff over here? Because there's a lot of really crazy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So head over to marfooglenews.com, click on the thumbnail for the show, and scroll down to web-only content, and you can learn about things like the new flu. I don't know if I could even say it. I probably could get away with it one time. Flu Rona, I will say it once. But this is yet another thing we have to be worrying about. So go take a look coming out of the Is country. But lots of other things going on. There's a lot of too hot for TV stuff here, stuff that's just, on the edge or too far to one side, or stuff that might just get us, knocked off. Things happening over at CNN. A lot of that's been going on for a while. What you laughing about?
Sorry. I couldn't hold it back.
Yeah, the name of that, the new threat.
Yeah, just double down.
Yeah, double down.
Next is going to be herpes, AIDS, Rona. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, the thing has been gone for 2 years, and now it's back, and it's just married
with
married
a
up
vengeance.
with the CV. So
with a vengeance.
Get your doubles on.
With a vengeance.
Exactly. So anyway, lots more going on there. A lot of political stuff. Go take a look. Things from the Cat Dog Cat and other people. Take a look. marfooglenews.com. Click on the thumbnail for the show. Scroll down. Web-only content. And if you're on YouTube, just open up the description. First link. It's right there. Easy to get to.
By the way, there's a lot of stories that we saw 2 years ago, like these mass, these kind of stories right here, right? The LA hospital sparks outrage after. It's like, it's literally 2 years ago. Now there's videos coming out of China again that are super scary. Same pattern, and it's going to work 100%. And it's hard not to when you're being bombarded. You do get scared. It's hard not to be, even if you're the most hardened people. Are like, I don't know, man. Oh, that's kind of scary. Well, maybe I'll just wear an extra pair of gloves. Lift the veil, people. Very scary stuff. But again,
I got another one. It's not on here. Did you remember the race car driver that made the catchphrase famous that everyone likes to say?
Yes. What about
Did
him?
you hear that he lost sponsorships over it, right?
Oh.
Well, he's got a new sponsor, and the new sponsor is a meme coin by the same name as the phrase, the LG phrase that everyone says.
Yeah, LGB.
So now he's got he's got a big red, white, and blue car now wrapped with that LGBcoin.io on it. That's his new sponsor, and he's going to be racing that way, and he's endorsed it. So,
oh, that's so messed up, though, that guy should suffer because of it. He was just racing, and everybody's standing, and then they said, let's go. And now that guy is literally screwed for the rest of his life. He is. You know how many people have?
It was pretty much his only option was to take that at this point because nobody was going to sponsor him. But these guys with their crypto came along and said, "Hey, we'll pay to wrap the car." So he can stay in the game and make money.
It's just like, you know how many lives memes have ruined? It's crazy that the internet can just chew you up and spit you out. It's worse than Hollywood. Tico and
he did not want to get involved in the whole controversy of it, but he did come out and say he was on the right side.
Wow. Well, yeah, he can go, "Let's go me." He could make public appearance. "Let's go me." Pez player, Tika Naka, thank you guys, everybody that has come out and shown love. Carol Stadola says, "Hope you're feeling better. Keep up the good work, both of you. Thank you guys for supporting independent." Stephanie Smith, thank you, and thank you. Patissa, Arizona Mountain Sky, praying for more hope and less fear for the 22 year. I do too. Arizona Mountain Sky, that is a great comment. Happy New Year, and God may bless you, Dex, families, and mods. Kathy Redondo. Make sure to press an M in the chat for the mods. They do a great job making it peaceful down there. Thank you, Bones. Thank you, Gem, Chance, Paladin. Jammer1 is always a pleasure over on D-Live. Jay Rockin, thank you for gifting out 5 Marfia badges over there. Heartbroken Survivor. Redheaded Stranger says, "Amen, brother." Thank you, Dax, Marf, and mods. Keep it healing. Many stomach issues, strangely. A lot of people, weird timing too, huh? And then thank you to a huge list of just awesome people that popped out of nowhere. Survival Living, thank you for your support over on PayPal. Linda G, thank you so much. Thank you for your support over there. Blanche H, Jessica B, Bobby D on D Live. A lot of just people that came out of the woodworks when they heard that we were down. So thank you. Thank you guys for lifting us back up. Geraldine, and we're still, it's so screwed. I just don't get why the system is so effed up. Keith H, Edith D. By the way, I can't, I might have to wait a month for them to finish what they're doing, and that's because I've got to talk to people. It's so screwed. Karen W, thank you. Sandra H, thank you, Sandra H. Again, thank you for your support, Karen W. And then Merca S, Linda P, Deborah E, Kazuko G over the last month, Carrie M, Jessica E, Kendra U, thank you guys. Carol McLean, East Tennessee Preparedness. Carol McLean, thank you. Pam B, Chris G, Lori O, thank you guys all for being supporters. Really appreciate everybody over there. Dex, thank you for your service, and I will see you after the new year.
Happy New Year, Adam, and Happy New Year, Google fam. Much love, everybody.
Happy New Year's,
thanks,
guys. I appreciate all of you. Hopefully, one thing I would really keep your eyes open. Of course, it is a holiday. It's a massive holiday, and it's a very significant kind of date as far as everything I've heard about all of the people that follow symbology and everything else. So the bad guys know that too. So just be careful out there, and just be careful. Have a good night, guys. It is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro.
Lord, oh Lord, when it's time, I will fight, I will fly right up to you. Lord, oh Lord, when it's time, I will fight, I will fly right up to you. my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News, Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News, Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Apocalypse wrong. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse.
This is hilarious. James Shepard said, "Did you hear about the new broom? It's sweeping the nation. Thanks for all you guys do." Samantha in Winchester. Jay Harrison, thanks for an awesome year of information and entertainment. And the whole Foogle family, a happy, healthy, and peaceful new year.
Stay out of Adam going back. I'm bringing one back with his Eli Hawkins. From me to you and happy new year. Mercy, 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 why? Scooby Doo, what do we done? I bring Ali and no Brandon Henschel.
Hey, Brandon Henschel is in the house. Make sure to go over to D-Live and check him out. Brandon Henschel, that's BRANDONHENSHENSHAO. I was trying to reach you or your wife over on Twitter. Please message me if you still need help with that young lady. I would really appreciate it. Please message me. Christian Moore, Raven Fouglet, Jammer 1, what's her name, 45, Diane Moses, Karen Reed, Santos De Rel.
Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Marfoogle News are only news I choose. Marfoogle. 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 Marfoogle News are only news I choose.
Got the Jay Harrison, Samantha Winchester, and James Shepard, and the Caddy Redondo, and Diane Moses. Oh no, we're in Arizona, mountain sky. But this is and shipping here, Flint now. Flies by with the Carol and the Star Door. La Nika, Tella, Teca, D Laga, and the Tika, and the Taco. And the Pest Baker, and the Bone, and the Dave Empire, and the Aldi. Merch, and that machine of Opus, and the human male, Mr. Reed, Mr. Preschool. Got an Andreas, a binder, with the Kim Edwards, find the binder. And the Travis Shaper, the Shaper, with the Diamond, Nick at Garvin. Eddie Dean in the RE55, going back now, and we ride. Lonnie Graham, picture cat forever in the party, and a Cindy on the brawl with the ball, with the Western body. Woman of the wonder in the summer, honey on the tonder. Running on the monkey, everybody getting on a bonner. Carrick on the K with the Kim Edwards, oh Wise Al Rhea, and the Wing Tartan Bell. Nettie 2250, what the hell? more villain, everybody get an inch deeper. Like I said, Marshall, Jessa on the land, and everybody getting hardle. Hey, like a squirtle. Frederick Swords on the 76 Bedford Street.